Yeah, glad to we paid the power this week, right?
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
do you know anything about a sponsor
Sponsor
opportunity?
It's funny you mentioned that. I've been, I'm on an email back and forth. It's been going on for a little while. Okay, I just gotta go to the bank later. They're like, just rearrange some things. But yeah, it's actually you're gonna be excited for this. It's royalty. It's like it's a Nigerian prince. Okay, they just emailed me like out of nowhere, and yeah, I'm really excited. He added like he totally loved the show. He claimed after I described it to him. He said it was his favorite show.
So what you have to send him money first?
Yeah. These things, I don't know. When you're royalty, life's just different. Things work
so
differently.
Much trouble.
What?
Hey everyone, this is Economy Lately, and might be in some trouble, South.
Hey, what? No, nothing but smooth sailing from here. We got F3 coming up, right?
We do have F3 coming up right around the corner.
I think someone has a code.
Try.
What?
That's the code, Try. Keep it in.
Do it better.
That's right. Go to live.freightwaves.com, type in Try and promos, and that will get you a nice discount. Also, South, it's not going to last forever, so the code's going to expire on the 31st, so make sure you use it by then. Mm-hmm. Then it's increased prices. But yeah, Halloween right around the corner.
Yeah.
Dressed up.
What are you going as?
Haven't decided yet. I'm kind of in between. Mm-hmm. Maybe like interest rates seem scary.
Ooh,
mortgages.
Yeah.
Or maybe even like a ghost recession. Something like that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. Well, if I don't have a lot of spare time between Halloween and F3, so I was thinking about kind of combining them. And so, I was going to maybe lose about 40 pounds, shave my beard, shave my head, get some glasses, and go as a freight convention attendee.
It's a good call. You got to make sure you're either in Navy suit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Get some Nike shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think that's
I might have to run some at this thing,
Might have to run some.
You might have to run some, yes.
Might have to run the court.
Yeah.
I seen your step back. Your jumper is nasty.
Oh, run the court. I think you said run to court. And I was like, okay, that's a little...
That too, the way the show is going in this Nigerian prince.
Okay. Yeah, anyways.
Oh, the show. That's right. This is Economy Lately, and we have tons of updates to talk about. So, of course, if you're watching this, you've probably seen not too long ago, we got a little GDP update. We also have some other updates that's happened over the last few weeks here, like retail sales, industrial production, things going on in manufacturing. There's that UAW strike going on, but maybe it's not going on anymore. Deals may be being reached. So let's jump into all of that. First thing we got to jump into, of course, is going to be U.S. GDP up 4.9% for the quarter. So that escapes any kind of recession in the middle of 2023, fears that may have been going on. And really, that's one of the big things. There's been talks of recession, there's been talks of recovery, and there's been talks of resiliency, depending on which industry you're active in. And so, for example, if you're here in the freight industry, of course, hasn't been a lot of resiliency, but more so talks around recession, freight recession going on. If you're in some parts of manufacturing, you probably hear some parts of maybe subtle recovery, but depends on which sector you're in, because of course, some automotive strikes that have been going on or maybe starting to an end sometime soon here. Also on that recovery aspect, you might see some signs of some green shoots. Of course, if you look at some aspects of housing, maybe it's hit a bottom and maybe starting to see some upward movement here. So we got to jump into all those different things. But starting with that US GDP number, always have to note that the headline number is not going to be the best indicator for the health within the freight environment. Of course, when you look at US GDP, a lot of it's going to be around consumers, you guessed it, and all of it isn't going to be around goods spending. A big chunk of that's going to come through services. So South, I think you saved the economy.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. You, of course, I think went to 8 Taylor Swift concerts, 5 Drake, 3 Beyoncés. You saw Barbie, I think it was 7 times. Oppenheimer 4, long movie.
Yeah,
so
longer
makes
movie.
Sense.
Yeah, less color, really.
Less color as well.
Multiple ways.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
And but with all that, I think you kind of single-handedly saved the macroeconomy.
Oh.
I mean, at the expense of your finances, of course.
Yeah. Well, you taught me just credit card debt, just more
credit card debt.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way the consumer has been going at it. So if you look at credit card utilization, that hasn't slowed down at all. So if you're looking at Disposable income, that's coming down. The savings rate isn't where it should be for the U.S. consumer. So although we are seeing some seemingly resilience on the consumer side, there's some concern that's building up. The 4.9% is nowhere near sustainable, and there's no expectations from that, I don't think, from anybody. And of course, one of the big things that's leading this charge is going to be, of course, on the labor market. Over 9.6 million job openings right now. Consumers can spend if they have a job, but the labor market might not be as resilient as we kind of mentioned earlier, depending on what industry you're in. So if you're in the freight industry, we of course seen some unfortunate layoffs and closures happen across the board here. And so hearts go out to all those folks, and hopefully you can get back on your feet as soon as possible. But that's not the same story for some aspects of leisure and hospitality, which is continuing to be a big strong point for a lot of job offers and opportunities. But South, as you know, I'm very suspicious around these job opening numbers because, of course, we see that 9.6 million, 3.8% job unemployment rate, below 220 initial jobs claims. The rate of hires haven't kept up with the seemingly robust need for a lot of labor. Of course, people retiring, baby boomers could be a big one. Some friction there. Too. Maybe some of that happening with the baby boomers. Hopefully not. I don't think so. I enjoy the boomers.
You enjoy the boomers?
I'm one of the rare ones that enjoy the boomers.
So you are okay with boomers?
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. You gotta keep those coming. Then we're gonna get a sponsor in no time.
Yeah.
To pay off our debt to that Nigerian.
Yeah, well, maybe he's a boomer.
Maybe that might be our saving grace. But anyway, so we've seen tons of activity going on here. Of course, one of the big things that we also saw was increases in retail sales not too long ago. Always have to note that retail sales headline report from the Census Bureau, although it is great, tons of amazing information in there, not going to be adjusted for inflation. So take that with any kind of subtle increases or likely declines once inflation is factored in. Speaking of which, we did see that the CPI did have some gains in the most recent release, showing that the fight against inflation is not over. So the Fed, FOMC still have their work cut out for them. But really, a lot of the conversation is kind of going around to this wait and see aspect, even with manufacturers, a lack of ordering more inventory for some people, or maybe waiting to see if interest rates do start to come down to push forward some CapEx spend. So there's a lot of different variables, a lot of different factors, and whether or not you're talking about resiliency, you're talking about recovery, or you're talking about recession, you're correct, depending on which segment of the economy you're operating in. There's discord throughout the entire country, really, depending on which area you're involved in.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about some of the other aspects, like, I don't know, the ISM PMI, that's starting to show some signs of life, up to 49 percentage points, although the backlog of orders aren't there. Housing and construction, we mentioned earlier, show some signs of life, up, I think it was around 7% for the most recent report. Looking at some of the underlying trends, of course, existing home sales, still not enough inventory. Also looking at homes under construction, starting to come down, but still above pre-pandemic levels. Also looking at homes authorized, but not yet started, also at all-time highs or historical highs as well.
Yeah, I guess you could talk about some of that.
Did I just do that?
Kind of, but I got a better idea.
What's that?
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
I got a joke for you.
Okay.
All right, what do you call a witch that lives at the beach? A sandwich.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's not where I went at first. I thought you were going to get us canceled off the show.
Well.
That's good. I like
Well, okay. I got another one for you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. What do you call a?
That might do it for this episode of Economy Lately and all the future episodes of Economy Lately.
A